we have Jenna Vu just arriving. And Jenna, you should have access to share your screen.
Oh, awesome. I made it back in
I
time.
can't turn my camera on.
Oh, I can turn your camera on then.
Okay. Can you see that?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So, hi everyone. So today we're going to be going over my past project. Oh, okay. So I wanted to make an album that will consist of 4 songs about different mental health stories, and I will compose and write the lyrics, but I will need some help with the composition part of it. I haven't determined like the song names, the album name, or the cover yet, and I want this to be completed and like released in mid to late May, which is also a Mental Health Awareness Month. So for the songs, Julian suggested that I based it around the storyline, but I didn't want to use like a fictional character or like story. I wanted to make something more real and personal. Therefore, I wanted to use social media as a platform to connect with people that might be willing to share their own story. So for the timeline, I want to have all the composition done by mid-January, finish writing all the lyrics by mid-March to early April, and finish recording everything by mid-April. And from there, we can market it from mid-April to early May and release it mid-May to late May. So the resources I will need are recording equipment, a piano, and like a recording studio, and an artist license. And like I said before, I need some help with the composition. So I was hoping to have like Dr. Bell or some other Stage 4 students help me out with that. And then lastly, I need help with marketing. And that's all.
All right, thanks, Jenna. That was really well put together. I like the colors as well. That's very nice. Okay, we can unshare that screen for a second so I can come back to the gallery view here. Perfect. I'm going to have Chris go first on this.
Yeah. It sounds like you have a pretty well thought out project. I think you have a good timeline, especially since you haven't put down anything quite yet. And the process usually from like pre-production, songwriting, putting everything down, composing, all the material can take quite a bit of time, especially when it comes to songwriting. So I think you have a pretty good timeline. And I think it's also really great that you chose to put Mental Health Month or Mental Health Awareness Month as like the date of your release. I think the main thing would be to want, I guess, since if you don't have much experience in like songwriting, is to maybe think through either whether lyrical writing comes first or composition comes first, or whether you kind of do that together, and also maybe like writing out maybe like a few demos or putting down some ideas first. And the main reason for that is, at least in my experience in the past, I've either had like, I could write out lyrics and then there'd be some issues putting it to song, or you can write out compositions of music and then have issues fitting the lyrics to that. So sometimes I think, even though it kind of could make sense to put one before the other or put one in an order, sometimes figuring out what your creative process is in terms of songwriting is going to be, I think will be really, really important going with the project overall.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chris. And then let's have Professor Fong.
Oh, okay. Are you gonna sing for this album?
Yeah, I'm going to sing for it.
Okay, that's all I was gonna ask. It sounds good. I look forward to it.
Yeah, and Dr. Bell.
Yeah, so Jenna, this sounds like a great project. This sounds really interesting. Mr. Chris already hit the nail on the head. I think you need to are you gonna start from the lyrics and write the music go with that, or
One second. I'm going to pause you guys. One second.
write the music first and then fit the lyrics to
I'm gonna pause
that.
Matt, just so you know, I don't know if
Um,
you're getting a little bit static.
be
If you want,
committed to
maybe
you know
just,
one thing, and there's going to be some compromise, so that's fine. In terms of your
you write him.
yeah, one second.
Matt, so just so you know, I think you're a little bit laggy. So if you want to write it, I'm happy to read it for you. Okay, so Jenna, I really like everything you put together. One of the things I wanted to ask you was how you're going to take these stories. Are you going to make them like public that they are somebody else's story? Are you going to rename the person? Is that how are you going to go about doing that aspect of it?
I haven't really thought about like that process yet that much, but I want them to have like some credit in like the like song part of
Okay,
it.
so then I'm guessing that this person is okay with their information being public, that they have whatever situation it may be. So you're gonna have to make sure you work through that. That'll be an issue that you'll have to actually think through, because otherwise, you don't want to release somebody's very private story, or your friend's private story might not go over so well. So Dr. Bell says, sounds great. Definitely let me know how I can help in the composition process. And spend time thinking about the style genre that you're going to go for. Yeah, I think that's also a good point. The style and the genre that you're going for to think through. The only other thing I was thinking is are you planning on having those as 4 separate stories, or do you plan on having them as linked somehow?
I want it like as 4 separate stories.
Okay, yeah. I think the album cover could be really cool if you had like each of the people experiencing the thing, that like kind of like a graphic novel look, if it was like not a cartoon, but like it looks kind of like Japanese drawings, those I forgot the name of it, like Pokemon basically. If it looked kind of like that, it's each person experiencing, so kind of it could look like a piece of art, like an Andy Warhol pop art. But yeah, I think this is good. And I like the thoughtfulness that you put into the placement of May with the timing. It's very fitting. So good. Yeah, I don't have anything else to mention. And then you're gonna have. Do you want to have Dr. Bell as your point person for this? For you can.
Yeah, I
Okay.
could use like yeah.
All right, so you can have him as your point person. Of course, you can work with Chris on any of the production aspects of it. Okay.
Mhm.
All right, you're all set. Thank you so much. Good job today.